I'm Goose, and this is my mama,
Hi everybody.
and I'm going to baking school.
Hi everybody, and Goosey is here today to learn how to make focaccia. Focaccia is an Italian flatbread that can have whatever toppings you want to put on it. Today we're going to make our family version that I learned to make when I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. My husband believes it's the only focaccia there is. All kinds of varieties can be found, but this is our family recipe. Thank you for joining us.
Let's get into it.
The first thing you want to do is you want to bloom your yeast. And I'll be honest with you, I've had this yeast for a little while, so I'm going to use a little bit extra just to make sure. And so I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of yeast when a recipe might just call for a package. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons, and then I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of sugar, which also acts as a leavening, and then a 1/2 cup of lukewarm water. And you're going to let this stand for about 10 minutes until it's foamy and frothy, and then you know it's ready to put into your flour and water mixture. We're going to make our dough by starting with 3 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of lukewarm water. This is going to be a very wet dough because you're going to spread it in your pan. If you were wanting to shape a loaf, you would want it to be a stiffer dough, but in this case, you want it to be a very wet dough. And then you're going to add your bloomed yeast and 1 tablespoon of olive oil.
So I'm just gonna grab my olive oil here and put some in the pan beforehand. Can never have too much olive oil. And then we're gonna take the saran wrap off. Let's save that piece. And we are gonna put our dough into our pan here. And be careful when you're scraping it out of the bowl that you don't break up those bubbles. You want to make sure that keep those all in there. That's what you're working so hard for, make it nice and airy. So once we're done with that, we're just going to gently try and spread this into the corners of the pan. Nice and easy, all that olive oil. You can never have enough olive oil, so we're just gonna lather it up, you know what I'm saying? Just put that saran wrap back on top. We're gonna rest for about another 15 minutes or so. So now that we're rested, we have a mixture of marinara and olive oil, and looking back, we could have used way more. So we're just going to pour that over the top, give it a nice spread. We're going to make some dimples in the dough here, just with our fingertips, not too aggressive, but just get some dimples in there. We're going to take some salt. Salt, salt, salt. just gonna finish it with some green onions. Beautiful. Just press them in a little bit.
All right, so I'm just gonna freestyle a little bit here. If you've seen some focaccias, you can get a pretty cool design in them. So I'm just gonna see what I can go ahead and do here. So I have some basil, and I'm just gonna try and put along the bottom here. And I have a little bit of leftover green onion, so I'm just gonna put some like that too. And we're just going a little crazy here. So I have these sprigs of the green onion, and we're just gonna kind of set them up in the dough here, because we're gonna get a little crazy, which you'll see. We'll just go like that. We have some cherry tomatoes here. I'm just gonna push them in. Push them in just like that. Not too many. Not a crazy cherry tomato kind of guy. And then we have some rosemary that I'm just going to try and make some, not go too crazy, but just try and put them around the cherry tomatoes a little bit. Make ourselves some nice little flowers. Nice little cherry tomato, rosemary, green onion flowers. And that should add some nice flavor to our focaccia and make it pretty as well. And I think I am going to finish it off with some salt. And just another quick little drizzle of olive oil, because you can never have enough. And call it there. Going in the oven. 425 for about 20 to 25 minutes.
After our dough has settled and rested for about 15-20 minutes, you can see that it's doubled in size. We're just going to go back and we're going to once again poke the dimples in it. And on this one, we're again going to use the salamoya. We used a little bit more marinara. The other one was a little bit sparse. Again, olive oil, marinara, and salt mixture. I'm just going to pour it over the top and brush it. And this time we're going to put some herb mixture of green onions, rosemary, chives, basil, and yummy, yummy cheese. Ready to go in the oven.
All right, That's week 2. We have our beautiful focaccias here. We got one more in the oven, the one with the cheese, which should be super tasty, but we're gonna go ahead and just dig right into these ones. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the traditional,
Okay.
and then we'll go to your fancy one.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay. Focaccia is supposed to be crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside.
So there's still, the reason you let it rest in the pan after you put it in there and push it back down, oil it again, so you get all these bubbles back on the inside. Delicious though.
Poor little Margot, she wants a bite, but she can't have one. It's no teeth.
And here you go, let's try this one.
All right. I'm excited about the tomato. I know you're not, but I am.
I'm going for a basil green onion bite here.
Mmm. You can hear the crunch.
Crunchy,
My gosh, delicious.
airy,
Mhm.
oily.
Sprinkle of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Soak up some of that marinara left in the bowl.
Mmm.
Perfect.
I'm gonna take another bite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
All right. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back with episode 3.
After the holidays,
After the holidays.
we have some great stuff in store.
Thanks for hanging out. Feel free to subscribe and let me know in the comments what we could be doing better, what you liked so far. But it was a blast and super tasty. I wish you guys could try.
See you next time.
See ya.